Welcome to the Transportation Channel, where we bring you the people, technologies, and ideas shaping the future of mobility. I'm your host, Alan Cleland, and today we're excited to share a major announcement that's set to elevate how transportation innovations are told, shared, and discovered across the industry. ITS America and the Transportation Channel have officially launched a strategic partnership designed to spotlight ITS America member companies and the groundbreaking technologies transforming how we move. Through a new suite of podcasts and media programming, this collaboration will showcase the innovators, thought leaders, and solutions driving safe, smart, connected mobility for all. Joining us today is someone at the center of this initiative, Laura Chace, President and CEO of ITS America. Laura has been a leading voice in advancing intelligent transportation systems across the U.S., and she's here to talk about why this partnership matters, what it means for ITS America members, and how it will expand their visibility to a global audience. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Laura, can you please start by explaining what inspired the partnership between ITS America and the Transportation Channel?
Sure. Well, I'm really pleased about this partnership today, and hopefully what we can deliver really engaging, interesting content to a wide range of viewers. We've, known and worked with the Transportation Channel in, let's say, a less official capacity, right, for some time. And I think that the stars just aligned around the Transportation Channel's reach to viewers, their ability to actually, have this dedicated channel to transportation content. And then the work of ITS America, which is really focused on integrating technology into our transportation system to create safer, smarter, more connected mobility for Americans, no matter how they move or where they live. And this is a unique opportunity as we began discussing the work that we do at ITS America, which is mostly, to be quite honest, on the policy front with policymakers in Washington, D.C., and then the opportunities with the Transportation Channel, which is really pushing all this content out to viewers, in their homes across the country, on their devices, wherever they might be watching content. If they're like me, maybe on a plane, on a trip, or maybe in their living room. It's an opportunity to help share stories of how these technologies and solutions really help real people, just like us, trying to get to work safely, trying to get home on time to maybe, make dinner for their children or, get to a doctor's appointment or attend a child's sporting event or concert, and how to do that in a way that is safe and efficient and seamless. And so I think this partnership was really inspired by the opportunity to reach a much broader audience and help educate people on the benefits of ITS technologies and what they deliver to their daily lives.
Excellent. So if we look at the benefits for the members then, which you touched on, how will this collaboration expand visibility for ITS America member companies and their innovations?
So, my hope is that this will actually help tell stories about how these technologies help real people every day. So if you really think about, first of all, let's just call a spade. Most people don't know what ITS technologies are, right? They just don't. And the irony of ITS technologies is when they're working, you don't know they're there because they're pretty much invisible to most travelers. And they're working behind the scenes to make your journey safer and smarter, right? So, if you're riding on a bus and you get transit signal priority, that means you get green lights to actually have your bus run on time and get to your destination quicker. That's an ITS technology at work. Your car right now might be connected through wireless connectivity and might be able to share information with a traffic light and might be able to, again, help you get to your destination more safely and more efficiently. But most people don't understand that these technologies exist or how they work or how they might help all of us as we go around, and travel in our daily lives. And so my hope is that by telling the stories of how they work, how they are helping, whether it's your own travel journey, whether it's emergency responders who can get to crash scenes and help save lives quicker, whether it's understanding that your own local Department of Transportation might be using these technologies to alert you to, perhaps bad weather coming right on the highway where you're driving, icy roads, lowering your speed around perhaps a dangerous curve, an incident up ahead that you can't see, and giving you those warnings so that you can make safer decisions and have more time to make those decisions and avoid a crash or a potential situation. I'm hoping it'll help tell those stories so people will understand why these technologies are important and what they actually deliver to their own lives. And so, for member companies, a lot of times they are not selling these solutions direct to consumers, right? They're selling them to other businesses or government agencies. And so there is this sort of disconnect to a degree between the consumers in the marketplace and these technologies. And I'm hoping that this can serve as a link so that people can start to understand the potential and the opportunity here. And then ultimately, I'd love, if consumers are saying, hey, I want this technology available, right? I want to understand that this is being deployed in my transportation system in my community, because I know it's going to make it safer. It's going to make travel safer for my family and my friends, whether I'm on a bicycle, whether I'm walking, whether I'm in a vehicle, whether I'm, riding on a bus or what have you. So that's my hope, is it'll increase the visibility for our companies who are developing and deploying these solutions, and it'll help make that educational link for consumers to understand why these technologies are important and why we should be encouraging more investment in them.
That link is very, very important, Laurie. That should be correct. So if we look into the future a little now, how do you see this partnership elevating the national conversation around intelligent transportation systems?
Well, again, I think that the more people know, right, the better advocates they can be. So if people know and understand what the potential technologies are, then they can advocate for them in their own communities. And I think that also, helps. So there's sort of a local grassroots component to this, but then there is the national advocacy, which is where we focus a lot of our work, which is helping policymakers in Washington, D.C. understand that these solutions are being put to use every day to help the communities that they serve, right, back home, or to help our U.S. Department of Transportation understand how they can support the different agencies and companies around the country to, create a really safe and connected national transportation network. When I think about the national conversation, I can't help but think about, in DC just recently, we got tap to pay on our metro system, right? Which, without getting into too many details, it's an open payment system. It means I don't need to buy a proprietary card. I can just tap my phone and pay. And that's an example of people really want those connections between their modes of transportation to make it much easier to move around, right? So you want to be able to tap to pay on metro. You want to be able to understand what are the connection points between that metro and the bus. You want to be able to make those different connections as you're moving through your day. Or I drive to metro and park and then take metro. So you really need those seamless connection points. And I think that these stories can help people understand what those connection points really are, and how these different companies who are providing these solutions are really working to help create that seamless journey for people every single day, right? I get up in the morning, I move through 3 jurisdictions, right, or more. I move through a couple modes of transportation. That's not unusual. Most people do that, and they don't really think about it. But the companies that we represent at ITS America, they do think about that. And the agencies, the public agencies, they do think about that. And they think about, what technologies do I need to deploy, and what data do I need to share in order to make this journey seamless for the communities that I serve and the people who are traveling on my network? And so I think that showcasing those stories can actually help at the national level, because ultimately what we really want here is, we don't want to have great transportation in one area and then not so good in another, right? We really want to have a national network that is, again, safe, smart, and connected throughout the whole network.
So, how can ITS America members participate or be featured in upcoming podcast episodes?
So the easiest way to participate is to go to our website, which is www.itsa.org. And we are so thankful to the Transportation Channel for this partnership because we have an exclusive discounted rate for members to participate in these podcasts. And so we have a page dedicated on our website with all the information about who to contact, what the opportunity is. And so there are different packages that members can look at depending on what kind of exposure they want for a series of podcasts. And again, I think I'll just say it one more time so everyone knows these are exclusive discounted rates. So this is really special for ITS America members to help tell the story of how their technologies are really saving lives and improving mobility in the transportation system. So please go to our website. And if you have any questions, you can send an email to membership@itsa.org, and we will get back to you and answer any of your questions.
Okay. I think you really explained how should member companies go to learn more or express interest. Is there anything more to add to that, Laura?
Well, I think it's an opportunity, right? It's a huge opportunity for members to get in front of an audience that they may not normally be in front of, right? And that goes to sort of the why that I mentioned at the beginning about, why do this partnership? And so I think that it's important as companies start to think about how they're telling the story of the solutions that they're creating and the partnerships that they're making to better market and sell these solutions. I think that it is a piece of the puzzle to be able to tell those stories to consumers and for consumers to understand the opportunities here. And so I think that is a compelling piece of this. So I would just say to the companies in this space, if you haven't been thinking about the consumer market and how you need to be telling the story of what you do and what you're delivering to consumers, I would encourage you to do so. And through this partnership, we're offering, I'd say, a frictionless, very, easy way to do that through a podcast series with the Transportation Channel. So I would encourage you to check it out.
Laura, thank you for joining us.